welcome. So I'm going to take a look at the Observer's Everyman crossword. So the Observer has bought the Sunday, the Guardian Sunday thing, or sorry, the Observer, which is the Sunday for the Guardian, has been taken over by another media company, so it's separated from the Guardian now, and the Everyman crossword has gone with that. Now, it is an unfamiliar kind of crosswordy thing. I've had a quick play with the settings. I don't know if that's going, and info brought up this thing that tells me it's Everyman 4097. There's a little timer up in the corner, which is quite exciting, and I found if I redo the screen, I think I've got the screen set up to show all the clues this week, which is great because that's normally a bit of a problem. I can probably scroll these up and down a bit later like this to get to all the bottom ones. So I'm hoping I'm in a position to do that. I haven't looked at that. Okay, how to play. I know how to play. I don't know what save does. I'll look at some of these things another day anyway. So I think if I reset the timer, I should be able to go. As always, I'll publish this in a week's time. So at worst, I think I'll just be doing a talkthrough of what the clues are. So I'm going to reset the timer and crack on. Okay, not on the clock. Okay, bigwig, most important figure on the board. A king. Most important figure on the board. It's that's nice. I like that font. I'll say that much. A cow's audible hello. This is feeling like last week's crossword. That was a lower, aloha. This was liberal, learned not liberal. Yeah, this is definitely feeling like last one's because it wasn't. It was misdialed down there last time, wasn't it? This was amigo. Okay, territorial army hiding rattle. So TA. So is that aloha? Aloha. Yeah. I'm very confused at this moment by the fact that's the same. Drink too much over coincidence. This, I don't know if I can do any. I can use the tabbing thing, so that's good. Small Englishman in Oz is pom rebuffed, sulks. When rebuffed, sulks. Okay, mopes. So pom backwards. Oh, I'm trying to spell that correctly. Pom backwards with that. Such as round table, you say, or such as the hippodrome. Such as the round table. Well, it was the disco, wasn't it? The hippodrome. Bigwig. Most important. A 4 and then 7. Can't think what it is. Okay, overlap. Drink too much overlap. Okay. Frenchman given tiny bit of work in retrospect, increasingly naive. Greener in retrospect. Frenchman must be. Is it Rene? Is that going to be Rene? Renega? Rene is Frenchman, maybe. Given a tiny bit of work. Or actually, in retrospect, so I think that's going to be an ER there for Rene. So is that N? Tiny bit of work, opus. Energia. In greener, yeah, in greener. It can't be greener, can it? In green? Greener. Okay, I got there eventually. Greener. There we are. Rene backwards with erg. That was simple when I got there. Territorial army hiding rattle. Well, there's A. Alarm is a rattle. Yep, hidden word. Leaves presents. Santa Claus. Leaves. Don't know. Leaves can be kind of cabbages and things sometimes. Philosopher, twisting jar seal, peanut butter at last. And that feels like jar seal should be an anagram, really. Or twisting. Butter, peanut butter at last. R for butter. Philosopher, 446. I don't know of any. I'm not good on philosophers. I know a few, but the fruity character might pull in. Can't be the fruit machine, can it? One-armed bandit, I think that is. Bandit, there's an old phrase, gosh, one-armed bandit. Visibly edgy, getting tense before spelling. Getting tense before spelling. Okay, before one in Paris, I assume one is aloha or un. One in Paris, terribly intricate lunches, starters, or is that L-I-T-I-L? Until, before, until. Nice. Passivity in, fashionable is in, it falls back in time. In idleness, inactive, not inactive, okay. Bill's story, account, can I even spell account? A-C-C-O-U-N-T. Very tanned, he won sports occasionally. This probably rhymes with the one at the top, but I don't want it. It's okay. We've done aloha. Audible hello. I'm confused by that. I haven't been the same as last week, really. Learned, but not liberal. Say again. Earned, but not liberal. So take the L off of earned. Say again. Repeat. Learned is erudite, but I don't think that's anything to do with liberal. Say again. Okay. One seeking riches, gross, grasping, worn out, and explosive. One seeking riches, gross, grasping, worn out, and explosive. Excuse me. That's a minor, isn't it? Is that a minor? One seeking might be a minor. Explosive. Grasping, worn out. Is that an anagram of worn out, explosive? Gold minor. What is that? Gold minor. Gross, old. Old is worn out. Minor. I don't know what that is. Is that one seeking riches? I think gold minor is that. Gross is G. Gross. Grasping, worn out. Well, worn out is old. I don't understand the rest of it. Might have, that may not be right, therefore. This was a 4. A. Still don't know. Okay, let's go to such as the round table, you say. Or such as the hippodrome. Nightclub? Can't be nightclub because of greener. And I'm fairly good with greener, to be fair. Increasingly naive is greener, and the wordplay fits. Quiet little fellow. Quiet as per or sh. One left here. Little fellow. Quiet. Is that P or SH? Singleton, one. Not seeing that. Megabucks are invested in tower. Minaret. What is that minaret? Yeah, that's an R in the mint, isn't it? Typing demarcal today, so R into a mint. Okay. The sonar, acting up in arm Atlantic. Well, that's some kind of C, isn't it? There's no anagram thing. Oh my god, I've just realised. Oh, I'm going to have to get the pen and paper out now in future. North Sea, I suppose. Is that just the North Sea? Yeah, okay. Well, that must be... Most important figure on the board must be a man of some time. I don't think man, men. It could be men, but it's a big wig. Still don't know. Done that. This one, some cream Americano, sorry. Nice simple hidden word. Professed nuance Don Dubious. Looks like an anagram of Don Dubious. Right, I'm gonna have to start getting my pen and paper out now. This is disaster to find out there's no anagram helper. Professed, so that means it's announced. I think that is. It's still fortunately not getting to the stage of needing the anagram pen and paper and pad yet. One shooting around stripped hair, so stripped hair would be an AR. I feel like this came up last week as well. Primarily this one's charged to protect. It did, didn't it? Oh gosh, what was it? It was a AR. It was an AR there. It was Guardian last week though. So it isn't Guardian this week, is it? I wonder if there was, now I see Guardian there, I wonder if there was a thing for all the Guardian last week. Is that one-armed bandit? Fruity character you might fall in the pub. Yep, one-armed bandit. I'm fairly sure of that. Round outstripped hair, backing over. Backing was aid. That was AR. Primarily, it was a gun, wasn't it? It was a gun. So what's going on here? I'm very confused. That can't be a one-armed bandit if that's the case, because that's Guardian again. Charge to protect. So yeah, that's hello, Guardian. Is that what it was about? Was that a bit of a... But then what's this? Fruity character. So that should be one-armed bandit. What's going on down here then? Visibly edgy. Getting tense for spelling. You'd think that was an ing there. What's this down here? Gold here. Also named Ashanti originally is Ghana. Okay, that's just a simple... That is an ing word. That's just a simple acrostic going in there. Ooh. Divulge student passed back note. Divulge let on. Yeah, note backwards. Simple. Where have I gone? I've gone over there. Can't do that, can't do that. I'm a bit confused about this one now. Because that 16 down definitely looks like it should be Guardian, because there's a gun going around AR with aid over. This was 5. That's an and, isn't it, in there, I guess. 5334. So in Everyman to ultimate degree, routine, overwhelmed, to be honest. In truth, that must be. I don't know why. I'll come back and have a look at it, go through them later. Every now and then. That must be something now and then. Occasionally is now and then. Has he done something clever here, which means that is every now and then. Very tanned. Yeah, that's an anagram of every tanned, isn't it? Every now and then, sorry. I think. I wonder if there's a thing for putting breaks in to show the different words. So this isn't a gun. This is a. I think this should be the observer or something, but that means ON. One shooting around. It's outstripped hair, backing over. Excuse me. Passivity. That was an in, surely. So what's this down here? Not a good look. Evil eye. Okay, so that fits on the one-armed bandit. So that makes sense now. We've got aloha. So last week was goodbye to the Guardian. So this week we've said we're saying hello to the observer, which is maybe the evil eye. I don't know. But I don't know what the. Oh, so that must be. Is that a different kind of backing? Aid, dire. Can't be, can it? Maybe that's what the primarily couldn't work out last week. I still can't work it out this week, to be fair. Spiteful like an Abyssinian is... Oh, well, that's inertia there. That was the word I was trying to think of, I think. Inert. Yeah, era with it in there. Spiteful. Catty, I think. Catty's a... Abyssinian's a cat, I think. Visibly edgy, getting tense before spelling. Not sure what that is. Okay, if that's one-armed bandit, that would rhyme with that one normally. Philosopher. Cool. Twisting jar seal. Jar seal hasn't quite got peanut butter at last. Philosopher. Not sure about that. This one here. Leaves presents. 4 and 5. This one, have I looked at this one? Quite a little fellow, yeah, looked at that. Hey, learned, but not liberal. So, got an ENA, which suggests it could be anagrammed. Not sure it is. This is bigwig. A I never quite passed gold miner. Gold digger. Gold miner. It must be a. So it must be a miner. That's definitely a line because it's a hidden word. And one armed bandit I'm fairly sure about. Gold. Worn out. Well, old is worn out, I think. Explosive is a mine. Okay, yeah. Gross is GR. Yeah, GR old mine. Okay. 446 for John. Someone. Lock. John. Can't imagine that's a no though. Can it be? John someone. John Paul Sartre. Is that the name? John Paul Sartre? Jean Paul Sartre. I don't know why that be Jean Paul Sartre. Twisting jar seal. Yeah, looks about jar. Let's take it out. Jar SEAL, which leaves me peanut butter. At last. Well, that's jar seal done. Peanut butter. It's spelled differently. There's an R for that. Jean like that. Okay, yeah, that was worth. That makes a lot more sense. Jean Paul Sartre, I think that's a nightclub down there, isn't it? Or some kind of club. Jean Paul Sartre. That's surely some kind of club, such as the Round Table. You say. The Hippodrome's a nightclub, but that can't be. I can fit there. Why? I don't know. Why can't I just put it in there? What did I have that was stopping me from doing that before? Leaves. Presents. Sits. Presents. Sits. Sats. Sates. Sots. Okay, what do we got here? For a long. A king. Most important figure on the board is a king, isn't it? A king. Is it? A king among men. Okay. A king amongst, amongst men. So that is actually men. Learned. Literate. Iterate, which is to say again, fair enough. So what was I saying? 1632, and I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 left. But I'm very confused about that Guardian one. Quiet little fellow, so sh for that, I would have thought. Left here, Singleton. Little fellow. This one leaves presents. Sits, sats, sots, sats. I mean, there's not a lot of things that'll fit there, are there? Sets. Worth, ETH, Earth. Presents. Torch. Actually, there's a few things that can fit in there if that's a C. Torch. Let's have a look at this one now. The one I feel like I haven't really looked at is this one. Visibly edgy. Getting tense before spelling. What is spelling? Spelling is... Visibly edgy. Getting tense before spelling. I don't know if edgy is. I was kind of thinking, is it like the extremes of something? Visibly in getting tense is. Tense can be a T. So if that's a that. Eliciting. Not eliciting. wonder if we just need to put a T into a word meaning edgy, visibly edgy is whatever, and then put a T in it to get to a word meaning spelling. I don't know if spelling is somehow meaning to deputise or something. The thing I like about this crossword actually is that I'm just reading all the clues here. I'm not even going over here to look at them, and that's actually really nice. But this bit isn't so nice. If I just went with that, what I had last time, which is aid, it doesn't really mean a lot, does it? Backing over primarily, this one's charged to protect. One shooting around outstripped hair. So yeah, Cal's audible hello is hello, and then we should be going to the observer here. I don't know if the evil eye is the observer. I don't think it is. Fairly happy that every now and then is correct. Very tanned. That looks like an anagram, doesn't it? Very tanned. He won. Looks about right. So let's see if we can get up to there. Leaves presence. Sets. Leaves. Sets. Sots. Sets forth. I think that is. I don't quite know why though. Quite little fellow. So if that's F for fellow, singleton left here on the shelf. Okay. So I think that sets forth. Not quite sets for th. Sets forth, i.e. if you set out your case, you set forth your case, you are presenting it, and sets forth is to leave. So that just leaves these two down here. 21 minutes to these two. So that's not too bad. But I really feel I've got no idea what to do with this one because it came up long. It's it's kind of like last week's. The only thing I didn't know last week was what to do with that primarily. One shooting around outstripped hair, backing over. OB. Ob. HOA. Primarily. BO. Backing over. BO. Bo. Visibly edgy. Very hard with that letter there. Cool. Getting tense before spelling. If that was a T for this tense there. Trickling. Trincing. I don't know what will go there really. It'd have to be something like an R or a K or an H. Not sure exactly. If it's T, if you're getting visibly edgy, then you're getting nervous. I don't know. Right, I'm going to pause the video while I have a think to myself. Well, I've put in flinching here because if you're visibly edgy, then you flinch, don't you? Getting tense before spelling, though, I can't see what the wordplay there is. If that's the case, I'll just put it in there in the hope that this might get me this one, which I'm now going to write out on the horizontal. Con office, something I, something E, confine, rifle. The trouble with this is now I've I've definitely got rid of the outstripped hair problem if that's an F for flinching. And to be honest, the fact I can't pass it makes me wonder. Getting tense before spelling. Well, inching, spelling. I imagine it's a word like that, maybe not that word particularly, but confine, confine. I'm going to go back to pause and have a think to myself again. Well, as you can see, looking at the clock, I'm at 36 minutes. I've been about 15 minutes on this last pair of clues. That and flinching. I can't really pass flinching, although, let's have a quick look at it, flinching. To be visibly edgy, I think would be to be flinching, but getting tense would normally be a T or some word before spelling. Spelling might give you the ing, but I can't see what's going on there. And the down clue, I can't see what's going on there at the moment. So I will come back to it later in the week and have another look maybe. But for now, I'm a bit stumped. I'm going to go through clues as best I can to this point. So a bigwig is a king amongst men, which is the most important figure on the board. Well, in a game of chess, the king is the most important figure. So it's a king amongst men. It's just a small bit of that. I can actually just tab through now. Excuse me. Drink too much. So if you drink too much, then you lap it up. Sometimes you lap to drink, dogs especially. So if you drink too much, you overlap, and an overlap is a coincidence. We've got the Frenchman, which is René, given a tiny bit of work. So erg is the unit of work, and put that backwards in respect gives you greener coming forwards, which is increasingly naiver. So if you're a bit naive, you're green, so therefore increasingly is greener. Alarm is a hidden word across territorial army. Hiding is your anagram hidden word indicator, and alarm, if you're rattled, you're alarmed. I think this is double definition. So if you set forth on a journey, then you are leaving, and if you set forth your point of view, then you're presenting your point of view. So obviously put those to the S versions. We've got Jean-Paul Sartre, who was a philosopher, which is an anagram. Twisting is your anagram indicator. That jar, seal, peanut, and then the R of butter, as indicated by at last, is an anagram of that. The fruity character, so the fruit machine in the pub, you might put in the pub, is the one-armed bandit, as they were sometimes known. As I say, I'm not sure about this flinching, which would be visibly edgy. Can't see the rest of it though, so I'm not convinced that is flinching. But I'll put it for now. Before is until. We'll go until lunchtime. We'll go before lunchtime. Not sure about that actually, before and until. But anyway, one in Paris is UN, and terribly intricate lunch starter, so the TIL from those. Passivity is inertia. Fashionable is in. We've got it falling backwards. We've got an IT there backwards. In time, which is an era. We've got a bill, so we've got double definition here. So an account, it could be the bill, the bill you pay somewhere, and a story is also an account. Every now and then is an anagram of very tanned he won, I think. Sports is apparently the anagram indicator, apparently, and occasionally is every now and then, and that's part of the rhyming pair with a king amongst men. One of the trademark everyman clues. We've got a cow's audible hello. So hello is aloha, as well as being goodbye last week. A cow, A is in the clue, and a cow, well, cow's low, so therefore cows are lowers. Audible is saying it's a sound like of a lower. Learned is literate, but without the L for liberal, so literate becomes iterate, which is to say again. So iterate is when you do something over and over again. We've got one seeking riches, which is a gold miner. Gross is GR, abbreviation, standard abbreviation. Grasping, worn out is old, and an explosive, which is a mine. We've got S for small, E for English. Englishman in Australia is a pom. When rebuffed, so turn that round, gives you mopes, which is to sulk. Okay, so such as the round table. Well, the Knights of the Round Table, you spell that with a K, obviously, the Knights of the Round Table. So you say is saying it's an anagram. It's a sound alike of nightclub, and the hippodrome is also a nightclub. Small, quiet is sh, and a little fellow is an elf, and a singleton left here. Well, the phrases you got left in the shelf if you're still a singleton. Megabucks are invested in tower. So a tower is a minaret. Megabucks are the mint. Okay, so if you're mint, that means you're loaded with cash, I think. So if you've got megabucks, are invested, so put an R into mint gives you the minaret, which is the tower. The sonar is an anagram of North Sea. Acting up is your anagram indicator, and the North Sea is an arm of the Atlantic. Some is our wonderful hidden word indicator of one. And across creamer I can order, we've got Americano, which is a type of coffee. A professed is announced. Nuanced don is an anagram of announced. Dubious is your anagram indicator. This one I don't know, obviously. Not a good look, so that's just a bit of a cryptic one, really. If you give someone the evil eye, then you're not giving them a good look. Everyman, we've got everyman to ultimate degree. Everyman to ultimate degree, routine, overwhelmed, to be honest. Well, I kind of biffed that because to be honest is, in truth, a routine is a rut. Everyman is what have we got? I-N-T-H left, inth. Okay, yeah, so I is everyman, so this is one of his trademark clues. The ultimate degree is the nth to the nth degree, NTH, with rut being put in that, so overwhelmed is your indicator to put rut into that 1/nth, and to be honest is in truth. Catty, so well, we've got a spiteful. If you're being spiteful, you might be being catty, and an Abyssinian is a cat, so like an Abyssinian cat would be catty. And then we've got the everyman trademark, primarily clue, or in this case originally. So gold here, also named Ashanti, so G-H-A-N-A. It gives us Ghana. Divulge is to let on. Student is an alpha learner. Pass back note will turn note backwards, gives you let on. So there we go. All, well, not all done because I've sorted this one out. I will have another look at it. I'm not sure if I'm going to get it really, because I'm not convinced of flinching. But I will have another look later in the week maybe, and maybe I'll even work out some of the settings. But other than that, thanks for watching. Right, well I'm back. I'm 57 minutes now, and to be fair, I've been off doing some looking around the web and things, and this answer got given to me because I was having to look at the blogs for last week's puzzle just out of interest to see how they did that. And basically what I'd forgotten and what this clue is alluding to is the fact that the Observer was sold off to a company called Tortoise Media. So that's what that is, it's Tortoise. So yeah, the one shooting around the outstripped hare, the hare and the tortoise, think of the hare and the tortoise. So the tortoise is the Tortoise Media, the outstripped hare is the Guardian, the backing of the Guardian is over for the Observer, and primarily that was the one that was, the Guardian was the Guardian was charged to protect the Observer. So that's what that clue is about, which is a bit, I guess these things happen when people are changing over, whatever. A little bit frustrating though, because you can't get that one from the clue, other than the fact the hare and the tortoise. But anyway, so then that left this visibly edgy, getting tense before spelling, and I had a little alphabet trawl, and eventually I put my W in and went, twitching. So we've got T for tense and the witching. If you're witching, then you're doing spells, aren't you? Witches do spells. So that's it. Twitching is visibly edgy. So that's the whole puzzle. Nasty pair there. The rest of it seems okay. As I say, last week's puzzle we had an Aloha Guardian. This week with goodbye clued as the Aloha, and Aloha also means hello, which is Hello Tortoise, who's the new media. I have to say that I actually quite like this format. You can see Everyman 4097 down there. So thanks for watching.